My name's Petra, and I'm coming to you from Stonington, Connecticut today with my lovely daughter Natasha.
Hello.
We are Knit Inc. and this is episode 17.
Yeah, it is episode 17. High teens.
High teens.
High teens.
Yep. We took a bit of a break between 16 and 17.
Yeah.
Just
summer weeks, life. Anna was home for a little bit and then off and traveling. So just kind of getting into our groove of, coming out of the pandemic lockdown situation. So we have a little bit more plans, and I actually had a wedding last week. So we have been busy, but it is July 3rd, which I think you said. So July 4th is, Independence Day here in the US. So it's a holiday. It's Saturday today. It's kind of cold and rainy. I think it was raining last time we recorded too.
Actually, it was, yes.
But it's not actually raining right now, but it's kind of just like damp outside and pretty chilly. But might be nice on Monday, which we have off from work. So maybe we'll get some sunshine then.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the nicest day. So yes, it's a long weekend in the United States. Also a big thing, the European Soccer Cup, the 2020 European Soccer Cup is ongoing at the moment, and England are about to play Denmark. Not England. Czech Republic is playing Denmark, and then later on today, England is playing the Ukraine. England and the Czech Republic made it to the quarterfinals, so a lot of excitement in our family. Yes.
Right. Wow.
Even
big
my
day.
mom's been watching the soccer.
That's great.
The big game was when the Czechs were playing England. That was a really big game in our family. So yeah, lots of soccer fun going on for soccer fans around the world.
So what else? I'll just say this if I forget. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, we are knit_ink. And the ink is because I like to do some hand lettering. Occasionally I'll talk about some pens and try and insert some signage and little tidbits. But that's if you'd like to follow us there.
So let's see. We're just going to do a little bit of live chatter, and then we'll go into what we're wearing, FOs, the usual kind of whips, dream knitting. I don't have any yarn acquisitions. I bought you something.
Yeah.
So let's dive in. So what have you been up to? I think it's been about a month, Tashi.
Yeah, so like I said, I had John's stepbrother got married on the vineyard last week. So we went out to Martha's Vineyard for a few days, and it was actually really hot then. It was like in the 90s in Boston, so we were really happy to get out of the city for a few days and go see the beach. Nice. That was nice. I think the biggest thing for you is that you got chickens.
Yes, we inherited 7 chickens, and I've been amazed at how much I'm really enjoying them. We've just had them a week, but it took a couple of weeks to build the run and rebuild the run from my friend's house. He sold his house and he didn't have room for the chickens, so he disassembled the run, and then we reassembled it here with the coop. Natasha will show some pictures.
Yeah, I'll put in. We just put them back in there. My mom likes to let them out to range around the garden, and then it's an experience getting them back into their coop or run or whatever you call it.
Yes.
But they're pretty beautiful looking birds. They
really are
really
beautiful.
Pretty. Yeah.
There's 4 different types. They're really beautiful and healthy, and they sometimes come when I call them. I think they're beginning to realize that I usually have some goodies for them. So I'm spending a lot of my time chasing chickens around the garden. I was supposed to be in England in June, but I postponed my trip until September. Sadly, I postponed it just over a week before I was due to fly, mostly because the USA was still on UK's amber list, and the quarantine restrictions and the testing restrictions was just making the trip too stressful. Yeah. So I postponed it till September when my niece is getting married. Hopefully we will be able to make it. Yeah. So, and then I've just been spending a lot of time before getting the chickens in my vegetable garden, which is doing pretty well now. I've harvested a lot of raspberries this year. I even froze some raspberries, arugula, and garlic scapes so far.
Nice. And I had some of your garlic scape pesto. That was really, really good. I have yet to have an egg.
Oh, the eggs, yes.
But you showed me a picture of the first one that you used. And it was a really bright yolk, so they look nice and healthy. And yeah, I'll have to start saving some
egg cartons. Yeah. So I'll send you home with a dozen eggs, and I've had 2 hard-boiled eggs from the chicken so far. Excuse me. And I made a lemon raspberry pudding last night with 4 of the eggs.
Oh wow! Yum.
All right. Let's talk about knitting.
Sure. Okay. Just a couple quick thank yous. I don't think we said this at the beginning, but welcome to our new viewers and welcome back to our returning viewers. We're very glad you're here. We are totally winging it today. We're like, we have a couple notes, but we're just going to go for it. So hopefully that'll make it interesting and not be too spastic. But yes, we are glad that you're here. I have contacts in today. I didn't get anything special to my eyes. I just have contacts in. And we did get a very special package from a viewer that lives in Japan. She sent us some yarny goodies that I'll share at the end, and some Japanese treats, some tea and some crackers, and some pens that I'm pretty excited about that I've already started playing with. So we can do those acquisitions. But we both wore red for July 4th, and we've got the blue behind here. So we're trying to be a little festive for the US, even though we're rooting for
a little bit of white. Even though we're rooting for the Czech Republic today and England.
Yeah, we're celebrating the US, Czech Republic, and England this weekend. Hopefully it'll be celebrations for those 2 soccer teams.
Gosh, I hope so, yes.
So yeah, so we both got red on. Let's start with you because I think the viewers have seen yours, and you can...
Oh yeah, I was almost finishing. So this is the water lily, but in Swedish it's
Vattenlilja.
Yeah, and I had almost finished it. I'm going to stand up. So this is the water lily motif at the bottom, and I think it's kind of Japanesey, and I am wearing a beautiful black linen skirt that a very special viewer sent us from Japan.
The same one that I just mentioned. Yeah.
So a big thank you, Jacqueline. I was just so thrilled. The skirt fits me. I think it goes beautifully with this top. Natasha will insert. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a nice full-length picture of me chasing the chickens.
Yeah, I did snap you
in my lovely new midsummer outfit.
So I was a little nervous when you were getting the chickens back in your nice outfit. That's something you would get it dirty, but you managed to keep it clean.
Good. So I talked about this quite a lot last time. I was inspired by Kia. She made this, and I like the raglan
on here.
The cables with the raglan. And so I used this sirdar summer linen, and this is all I have left.
Wow.
I love it when
Talk about yarn chicken.
I know, winning yarn chicken this time.
Lots of chickens.
And then I just had some black linen left over in my stash. So I did have to do some weighing and planning to make sure that it didn't run out of red. And this is a modification, the sleeve. I think the pattern is just, one color. This motif is in the pattern, but I added just a little bit of the color work here to kind of tie in, to tie in the transition. And these are the little bits and pieces that I have left over of the black linen. So yay for a finished object. And so that's what I'm wearing.
Yeah, and using up a lot of that yarn. You do have like some tiny scraps.
But I'll save them. So what I do is I have a vase with leftovers from my finished projects in case, there's a hole that needs to be repaired or something.
Right.
So when I have a little bit left, I keep that. I think I got that idea from the yarn hoarder.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And you just keep that all in the same area?
Yeah, I just keep that, yeah. Which actually kind of reminds me of some comments that we've had on our YouTube channel. Thank you for the comments. We both really enjoy reading them. And one viewer asked, how do I keep wet my stash? and am I worried about moths or anything? So, how I organize my stash. So I keep my stash pretty much open in cubes at the end of this sunroom here, because I like to be able to see it. I feel like if I can see it, then I'm more likely to use it. And as I look at it, I think of ideas for how to use it. And I keep it organized mostly by weight. So I have all my fingerings together, DKs, heavier weight yarn, but then I do have sort of summer linens together, and then I have yarn that's just strictly for socks together. And then I have a basket of cottons for dishcloths and things like that. So it's sort of, and then I keep minis and leftover little balls in vases. All right, and what are you wearing?
So this is my roll over the top by Hinterm Stein.
Oh, I'm knitting the sweater for my mom by the same
designer.
Really? Yeah.
That's cool.
Her patterns are really well detailed, aren't they? Did you find that?
Yes. And I did. So actually, I had bought a different pattern to use. This is the yarn that I gotten a couple months ago at this point now from Driftwood Yarns. It's this linen and to use for a summer top. And I had bought something to do lace, and I was really frustrated with how the pattern was written. There was no chart for the lace, and it was all written out, and it was row by row. So the pattern was like 10 pages long, and I just felt like I couldn't get into a rhythm, and I wasn't liking how I was knitting out, so I just abandoned it and did this pattern instead. And I did do quite a few modifications to this. There is a detail that's supposed to go right here of some slip stitches, but I didn't include that. And then it does have this pearl side panel here that you then stop and continue the front and the back. So it's kind of like a split here, but I decided to just do it all in the round. I did it a little too short though. I think I'm gonna rip back and make it just a little bit longer. It is like sort of propped, and I'm not wearing the right color pants with it, but I think I'm gonna make it a little bit longer, and I realized that I did my ribbing this was on size 4. I did my ribbing in size 4 too, and I think I want to do it in size 3 because it's a little wavy, you know, and I might do a couple short rows in the back just to have it like lay a little bit flatter. So it'll be quick to, I just have to modify that a little bit, just spend like half a day-ish probably of amount of time split over a weekend, and just make it so that I really, really am happy with it. Because I'm happy with it now, but it's not exactly what I want. So it's knit top down, so it'll be easy for me to just
take care of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? My advice is do it sooner rather than later, because the longer you leave it, the harder it is to get around to doing it.
It's true.
And you know, that's a pretty good transition onto my next FO, where I think I might have to redo something too. Okay. So when I finished this, I restrained myself from casting on a brand new project. I actually went back to this project, which I started in January of 2019 on my last trip that I took before lockdown. Wow. Yeah. And I had finished one sleeve, and I had just separated for the sleeves, and I had finished one sleeve, and I was about, I don't know, I had done about this much of the body. I was definitely working on the body, and one sleeve was done, and it was resting for the winter. And I have no idea why I knitted one sleeve and then went back to the body, because knitting the second sleeve over a year later proved to be a bit of a challenge. Even though I had put markers in for my decreases, my tension was different. Interesting. So the second sleeve I've knitted twice now. Okay. And
so you redid it, and are you happy with that?
Well, and then I blocked it, and if you feel them, the sleeves actually feel different.
Oh, one is definitely denser.
Yeah. So now I've left the stitch marker in here, because I might actually redo the first sleeve, because the first sleeve is a little bit looser than the second sleeve, and I'm not that happy. I haven't tried it on since I blocked it.
Yeah, try it on. You might not. It might not.
I'll try it on and see how I feel about it. But I didn't say this is. It's called the Sunshine Coast by
Heidi Kirmmaier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this has been in my queue for a really long time. I love the details, which might be hard to see.
Yeah, you can see the eyelets.
There's eyelets, and there's kind of like a little chevron-y thing going on the side.
Oh, you can kind of see that. Yeah, it's a little bit more blue than it's coming out on the screen. On the screen, it's a little more gray, but I'd say it's like a little bit more approaching periwinkle. I don't know if I can get the real color very well. Definitely is more gray on screen than closer to this color back here.
And I'm looking for a label. This is Berroco linen. It's 100% linen lawn. Oh, here, I found that. And again, I use...
Feels really nice. It's kind of heavy.
It is heavy. So it's 100% linen.
Oh, this is 100% linen too.
Yeah, so this is... it's called Indio, Berroco Indio. And this is color 7325. And
it's soft but heavy.
And I used... I'm gonna put links below. I think I used 8 balls and I have 25 grams left. Again, I used nearly everything.
Wow.
And I pretty much planned that out. I was going to make it a little bit longer, but you talked me into
I just
stopping.
felt like it was going to be stretch and be heavy too much longer.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to kind of drown you.
So I will put some FO pictures in. But yeah, so I was pretty happy with myself that I restrained myself from casting on a new project.
And you finished.
And I finished an old whip.
Nice.
But then I started a new project. So these are my only 2 FOs.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any more FOs?
I have one, but I don't have it with me. I finished the Ghost tea, the Ghost Whisper, and I gifted it to Anna, and I just wanted to go see if it was up in her room, but she took it with her. So that means she did like it. I have some FO pics, if you didn't see them on Instagram, that I will insert. But it really suits her, and I think I do want to make another one. I think it was fun with the color blocking, but I want one that's just one color for me. So I will get to that eventually, but it was a really fun knit, super quick and easy. Not recommended to deal with sunscreen while knitting on that one, but
oh gosh, I can imagine.
Yeah, I was knitting. I was knitting on this. Actually, I didn't mention this at the beginning. I was knitting on this. I was at a friend's lake house in New Hampshire knitting on this one. So this one was a little bit of a travel knitting project as well. So those are my 2. Those are just my 2. Oh wait, I have something else. Maybe this will count.
Yes.
Duh. This sweater that I was so excited about last time, in case you missed it.
Yes.
In case you missed it, my mom knit this sweater in 1983, and we found it a couple of months, I guess about 6 weeks ago or so. And it was in pieces, so I seamed it together.
You did a nice job.
I haven't blocked it, so I think it'll get a little smoother here.
Oh yeah.
So this perfectly matched up. Over here you can see it didn't. I don't know if you had run out of the blue or what, but I didn't want to force it to be cinched in up there, so it's fine, because when it's on, it's like kind of under the armpit, so you don't really tell, but you can see it matched up perfectly with the teal over here. And then it was a raw edge, but I did a little poll on Instagram if I should do the peach as kind of like a fold over wider brim or just a hot pink I-cord. And I was leaning towards the hot pink I-cord, and that was the winner. So I went with that. And I will put it on real quick. It is so fun. And I'm excited to wear it.
So you've got a real vintage
mohair
sweater
from the 80s.
It's pretty thick mohair.
Yeah, it's definitely thick mohair.
It's going to be really warm.
Yeah.
Wow, Natasha.
So I thought the sleeves were going to be short, but they're actually not.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm having such a flashback seeing you.
They're wide sleeves, and I think it could be kind of fun, like scrunched up.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely think I need something underneath it. It's a bit itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long sleeve t-shirt.
Yeah, it is a little scratchy. But maybe when I wash it, I'll put a little conditioner in, and maybe that will help.
That is a good idea, yes.
When I block it, yeah. So that counts, right?
I think so. That is, yep.
So that is definitely all for the FOs, for sure.
That must be my oldest whip, yeah.
Yeah. I hope so. If you have something older than 1983, oof.
I know, I have something from the early 90s, which I'll pull out one day. Alrighty.
All right, so speaking of whips.
Yes. Do you want to go?
Sure.
All right, what are you working on, Natasha?
Okay, so I had downloaded another pattern that was a top-down yoke sweater that just had some simple stripes to it. Mm-hmm. But again, I was knitting on it, and I'll insert a photo. The pattern was written, it wasn't super clear. It was a finished pattern, translated, and just because I'm not happy with it, I'm not going to give all the details of it. But basically, the short rows for the back, they had you continue doing the ribbing for the short rows. So like the ribbing of the neck would be like extra long, versus, when you switch to short rows and you're just doing the knit and the purl back and forth. And I tried that and I was like, wait, I don't like this. So I ripped it back, and then I started doing the short rows just with the knitting. But the way I picked it up, and I'll insert a photo here, it just wasn't smooth. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I sometimes struggle with the top-down yoke of having too much fabric in the back. And I really what I liked about the pattern was the thin stripes. So I was like, okay, why don't I have a think or look at my, work from a pattern that I know I like and then modify it. And the reason, and I knew I wanted to do fingering weight, I have this magpie swanky sock yarn that you gave me. I have it caked up because I don't have a ball winder. And I was up in Boston, so I have them wound up here. You can kind of see that this one's a little bit warmer in tone. Yes. This one's a little cooler. So I am alternating skeins because these are actually quite different. So I'm using both of these, so it's a fingering weight sweater, and I like the size 4 fabric. So
size 4
needles. And I was like, wait, I love my Ravello sweater, which is this. I love the way this fits. And so I was like, okay, I can follow this pattern and then just change up the striping. So I'm using the magpie swanky sock, and then I'm using some minis that are kind of in the orange tan family. So this is kind of like a different color wheelhouse that I usually do, which is like the grays and teals and sometimes reds. But I thought this would be kind of a nice like late summer, early fall sweater. So I have these are the minis I'm using, and these are from the Christmas swap that we did with your.
I was going to ask you if they were. Yes, those colors go really well. I love them.
I liked how
this one.
Yeah, I like how they contrast, but they still kind of go with the warm brown. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I might do like in one of the wrists, I might do like a pop of teal or something, just because I might not be able to not include teal. So yeah, that's my whip, and there's a little bit of cashmere in this swanky sock.
Yes.
10% cashmere, and you can feel it. It's super soft.
Oh gosh, yes.
And I'm doing the helical knitting to alternate the skeins, and I think you can kind of see how they alternate, but they totally blend in. And I just split for the sleeves. So the only modifications I'm doing from my other Ravello, this one I had done like a garter neck. I did a little bit of a twisted 1x1 on here, and I did have some notes on my Ravelry page about, I cast on for size 2, but I increased for sleeve size of count 3 or 4, just because I don't want my sleeves to be too tight. And I often end up because I think I knit pretty tight when I'm knitting in the round like that on a small circumference. So I wanted to accommodate for that. And now it's just on the body, knit, 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 and I'm doing 10 rows in between each stripe. And that's about that. That's that really.
And you're using up the minis, which is great. And I'll have a look to see if I have any minis.
Yeah, if you have any
left over from my advent, or just others that will go in. Yeah, I really love how these minis, the ones that are changing color with the thin stripe, makes them really interesting. So is it 2 rows?
Yes, I'm doing 2 rows of the stripe. Yep. And it's raglan, which I really do like raglan sweaters. I think they fit me well. I think they have good structure. So it's kind of a Ravello. It's a Ravello, but
it's a different kind of Ravello. Yeah. That the Ravello is a great pattern.
And that I think is that by, who's that by?
I feel like I should know.
It's not Isabel Kramer, is it?
It might be Isabel. It might be Isabel Kramer. Yeah, so I made one for Anna, and I've got some yarn set aside to make myself one. That might be my autumn knit.
It is Isabel Kramer.
Okay, yeah, I love her. I've made quite a few of hers.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so what are you working on?
Well, I have a few whips. So, but my next whip is in this really nice linen bag that my black skirt came in from Japan.
Nice.
Really enjoying using the bag. And it's a new whip, and it's another summer top, and the pattern is called Cascata by Filipa Carnerio.
I didn't make a sign. I'll put it down below.
And it's quite popular on Ravelry. So it's I think you would call it a circular yoke top-down sweater.
It's very similar to what you just finished.
Yeah, I know.
Like, wait a second.
Yes, except that this is more of a raglan style increase, and this is more of a circular yoke increase. But you're right, the color family
and the little eyelets.
And the little eyelets. There's more eyelets here.
Yeah,
I know.
But very similar. Yeah,
I know. Well, you know what you like, right?
Yeah.
So the increases in the yoke are yarn overs. There's 3 rows of yarn overs, and this actual top is without sleeves. So the pattern has you bind off for the sleeves here, but I'm going to knit sleeves sort of similar to this length, maybe just a little bit shorter. I like to have my sleeves just above the elbows.
Okay.
And so I'm on the body now. The interesting thing about the body is that there's a lace panel just on one side.
Okay.
And you keep increasing it. So there's going to be a one side.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be sort of A-shaped but asymmetrical, which I like.
Yeah.
And I'm using the yarn that you got me earlier this year. Juniper moon yarn pollock. I think you made yourself a tank out of it.
Yeah, I did the outline tank in that. Yeah. Mine was at a much tighter gauge though. It looked a lot different.
So I'm using size 4 needle.
I think I used size 2 and 3.
Oh, okay. And you know, I should actually check my gauge. So I just started the second 100-gram ball. I only have 2 balls, but you're going to give me your leftovers.
Yeah, I have some leftovers.
Good. So I tried it on, and it's the neck is kind of loose. I cast on. I was thinking of doing size 2, but I'm doing size 1. But the back is going to be pretty low. What I might do is I might just pull it in by a single crochet, a round of crochet, which I've done before, or I-cord or something. So I think my gauge might be a little bit off. But
like too big?
Yeah, too big.
Yeah. Well, it's good you did the smaller size then.
Yeah, but I tried it on, and it seemed to be okay. I'll probably try it on again. And I'm using my Prim needles. Oops.
Oh, nice. Uh-oh, did you have a...
It's just some stitches. So these are pretty short cables, which makes it, for trying on, I either have to put it on longer cables or waste yarn, which is a silly hurdle. But yeah, so these are Prim needles. They're really lightweight plastic, and they've got these interesting tips. These are the smaller ones. I was first introduced to these needles by Annie and Carlos. They gave them to us in our mystery kits on the cruise, And I do like knitting with them. They're really lightweight.
Yeah. Speaking of Arne and Carlos, so I when I was working on this, I watched a couple videos about different techniques to do jogless join, because it's only two
rows.
Two rows. I was
Yes.
trying to make sure I would do something that would kind of make that smooth.
Yes.
And I was doing the option where you pick up the leg from the stitch below and knit it on top. And it's not, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, it was like here and here. And it's okay. And then I watched a video by Arne and Carlos, and they say just keep knitting. Like, don't try and do anything crazy with the jogless join. Just keep knitting. That it's just a small detail that shouldn't really bother you. It doesn't need to be perfectly lined up. So I was like, you know what? If it's good enough for Arne and Carlos, it's good enough for me. So
I've seen that, and I love that advice. So
I just decided to just not try and do anything to match it up perfectly, because I think I was making it more complicated than it needed to be, especially because there's only two rows of the color that like each of them would have like kind of a join happening. I think maybe other techniques, when you have a larger stripe, or a few more, at least 3 or 4 rows maybe. I think 2 rows, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing I should mention about the Ravello at the beginning, and I know this because I took notes for my first one, the beginning of the round is the middle of the back.
Oh, yes.
In the pattern, and I switched it to be over on the side seam. So my beginning of round is, I split for the sleeves now, but it was, at the beginning of a sleeve. So that's why my joins are here, and that's where I changed it. So even though I cast on, I did like, my short rows and everything. And then when I started my first stripe, I switched my beginning of row. So that it wasn't in the middle, because even though I'm fine with not doing anything crazy for the join, I don't want it in the middle of the back.
No, that would be, your eye would go straight to it.
So on the side is better. So, and I do want to mention, I was knitting this, I guess as another travel that I didn't mention at the beginning, when I was at a friend's cabin in Vermont. So like I said, we've been busy. So I was knitting on this outside. It was nice. It was good weather up there, and we had a fire in the evening, and I had my little camp light around my neck, and I was knitting by the fire. My friends are like, you just don't stop knitting. And I'm like, nope, not even in the dark while camping, I will be knitting.
Gosh, Natasha.
And I was doing the raglan increases then too, but I wasn't doing it super fast, but I was still going.
And you're still making progress.
Yeah.
Do you find that you have that memory associated then with your projects? You'll remember where you were when you knitted them?
A lot of times, yeah. Similarly, sometimes if you are watching a show while you're knitting a specific project, that can happen too.
There's the memory association, which I kind of like that.
Yeah, and Christy Glass has said something nice before too. When she's knitting something for someone, she's thinking about that person, and I think that's pretty nice too. When you're working on a gift knit, you're kind of thinking about that person, and you've spent time with them,
and they don't even realize it. Yes, I definitely think of the person when I'm knitting.
Yeah.
When I'm knitting, and I have a couple of projects on the go that I am knitting for other people. Another whip is I am making a sweater for my hairdresser, who I think I talked about last time. She's been wanting me to make her something, and it's a 70% cotton, 30% linen this time. The yarn's called Hampton by Cascade, and I'm using this light grey color. I gave her the option of grey or blue, and I thought she was going to pick blue, and she picked the grey. She surprised me. It's a nice grey, and I finished the front. It's knit in pieces. I finished the front and the back, and I blocked them.
Oh wow!
Before seaming. So this is the front.
Wow!
It's got this lace panel. It's kind of a boxy fit with really tight sleeves.
Yeah.
I'm making it a little bit smaller because I know what the gauge is here, and it's tighter than the pattern calls for, but I kind of wanted it a little bit smaller.
She's really tiny.
She's really tiny, yeah. I didn't want it to drown her, and I think she's going to really... And I made it one panel longer, so it's not going to be as cropped. And the back is just plain, except for the bottom hem. There's this one row of dropped stitches.
Fun.
I love dropping stitches.
Yeah.
So then the next thing is to just, and I whisked through these.
This must have gone really quickly.
Yeah, I mean a couple of evenings, I think. So I'm at the point of I'm going to join and then pick up and knit the sleeves. And I want to try these tiny little needles for knitting the sleeves so that you can literally go round and round. I got them at Driftwood Yarns. Elizabeth kind of pointed them out to me one day.
So they're Chalgu twist?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
extra flexible cables, it says.
Yeah, and the tips are really short.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I'm going to get on with them, but the idea is that you can knit sleeves and things that are short circumferences just going round and round really quickly.
Cool. Yeah, you have to let us know how those go.
Yeah, and there's a couple of different tips in here and a couple of different cords and connectors.
Cool.
So so that's where I'm at for this whip. So I should be able to, and I think that the sleeves are going to be 3/4 length.
Okay.
So I should be able to have this finished in time for my next haircut.
That's a nice way to measure the time.
Yeah.
I desperately need a haircut.
Yeah, I feel like I do too. I feel like Pam didn't cut my hair quite as short as she normally does last time. So that's, I do have another, do you have any other whips?
I guess I have I do have my Primrose that I have made a little bit of progress on.
Okay, yeah.
I can just do a quick flash of that. Should I do that?
Yeah, I've just made a little bit of progress on my second sleeve. I'm still on the second sleeve.
Okay, and yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who gave us some advice on this project, because we had asked for that, and it was really helpful to know that we are not alone with thinking that the yoke just seemed really low. So some people had given some advice about they knit a little bit longer before joining, like another 1.5 inches or so. So I might consider that. Right now I am, I'm about 3/4 of the way through the body pattern.
Really?
Yeah.
3/4 of the way? No.
Yeah, I'm here.
But isn't that repeated?
This doesn't get repeated, no.
Sorry, Natasha's showing me the pattern that, but not up to the camera.
I mean, it's this and I'm here. So,
gosh.
Yeah. So now you know this is why we were concerned.
Yes.
So I will address that. I haven't knit on it in maybe 2 weeks, but I was doing, maybe like 2 or 3 rows every day just to make a little bit of progress. And then once we had a 90-degree day, I just couldn't. So I've been, it has been sitting for now, but I'll probably do another few rows. Maybe I'll try and get to right before where the seaming would be for our next one. But it is fun, and I'm loving how it's coming out.
It looks beautiful, Natasha.
I'm trying to be loose with my
floats,
and I love the colors together.
Yeah.
I do get into a rhythm versus the sleeves, so I'm having fun. So we'll see when I do pick it up. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks, but obviously not a priority in terms of wearing this time of year, but it would be nice to have it ready when it does get cooler. So
that would be nice. So this is me on my second sleeve, and I'm just at the point where it's getting easier, where the pattern is a little bit more repetitive, and also getting to the point of 9-inch circulars. I can't do it like
9-inch circular needles,
like Ray on Needles at the Ready, where you can just knit in round and round instead of magic looping. So I'm definitely past the more uncomfortable part, but I also haven't knit on this in the last couple of weeks, mostly because by the time I've sat down to knit, it's been around 9 o'clock in the evening, and I've just been too tired.
Yeah.
And also, did you notice in the warm weather the yarn really smells sheepy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll just keep plugging away, and
yeah. But thank you everyone for your help and input and advice. I just want to make sure we say that because that's really helpful and we really appreciate it. So,
and I did watch Knits and Pieces podcast. I would recommend that podcast. Noelle made the Primrose,
Okay,
and
yeah,
she talked about the modifications that she made,
yeah.
and also Kelly made the Deschain, and she did some cool color blocking because she ran out of yarn. I might make one for myself.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it went really quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely a quick knit.
Yeah.
And so
what else?
right.
What else are you working on?
So I did pull up another old whip from last summer, a summer top that I began last July actually.
Okay.
And didn't finish, and I thought, well, maybe I should finish it this summer, but then I started the new one for me. But I still do want to finish it. So this is a pattern called Venus by Rowan, and I am using the actual yarn that the pattern recommended. It's another creative linen.
Rowan Creative Linen. Okay.
Rowan Creative Linen. Oh, sorry. It's knit in pieces.
Okay.
And I had finished the back.
Oh, another lacy situation.
Yeah, and this is
This
a chart.
Fun.
So I finished the back.
I love the lace pattern. It's like geometric.
Yeah, it's really cool. And this, you can get into the rhythm of this.
Okay, it's memorizable.
Yeah. And I
Have you blocked this yet?
No.
Oh wow, it looks really good for not being blocked.
Thanks. And I'm using my other Prim needles.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're just on top of it.
And I'm mid-row, but I just started the front, which is exactly the same as the back.
Okay.
It's full length sleeve with the lace pattern, the big diamond down the middle. And I do have a project page.
This is much softer than the other linen.
Yeah, it's a different kind of linen. It's plied.
This feels like cotton, really.
Is it 100%? I've lost the label. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's 100% linen. Oh, here's the label. It's made in Peru. Why can't I see what the? I just hope I'm gonna have enough yarn. It might be. I think I have 3 100-gram balls.
50% linen, 50% cotton.
Okay, that's
no
why
wonder it feels like cotton. It does have cotton.
It feels different to the
Yeah.
100% linen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it for my summer tops, and then I want to make a couple of tank tops for some young girls. If I can get around to that.
Okay.
With some smaller amounts of. No, I'm really tangled up. With some smaller amounts of summer yarns that I have left over. And of course I have some other dream knittings.
Yeah.
One with Shibui linen, but I'll talk about that another time. I really need to finish. I've got essentially 3 summer tops on the needles.
Right.
I would like to finish in the next 3 weeks or so. That would be a nice goal.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and fix this at least rip back and get this on needles ready to go before I start another project. This tank top I'm wearing now.
Okay,
get
that's
it
a
set
good
up
idea.
and then it'll be, that's the hardest part, is bringing it back and getting it on the needles, and then it's not going to be difficult to just do another 2 inches and get it done nicely, right?
Yeah, and then you'll be really happy with it, and you'll have it.
And I want to do it
for a
soon
lot
so
of
I can
years.
wear it.
And how much of this yarn do you have left over?
So I have, this is probably 3/4 of this left, and then I have 1 more. And I'm thinking I'll probably just use the rest of this, and then I'll have one of these left. So I will have used 4 150 meter, 50 gram pieces. And I did swatch for this.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I did like the lace pattern I bought for this. I'll just show it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
I don't think, I just didn't,
It just
I
wasn't
needed something that wasn't going to be too complicated, and this was too complicated. And it was,
oh gosh, it does look complicated.
yeah, this is it. It actually is not too different from that other one, but it's called the Roving Summer Top. And yeah, it's not written super intuitively. I mean, you can figure it out, but I wanted something that wasn't going to be too difficult, and this one fit the bill. So
nice.
maybe, you know, but I bought this pattern, so if I want to, I can always try it again when I'm in the right mind frame.
And maybe I'll take a look.
Frame of mind?
Frame of mind. Frame of mind, yes.
Okay, so I just want to share some of what we got from Japan because we mentioned it a few times. Jacqueline generously sent us this beautiful Japanese yarn. It feels, I mean, I think it's 100% silk.
Is it?
Well, it's definitely silk. The sensibility of silk sounds in the future.
I feel like it must have some mohair or something.
Right, but it's shiny, which makes me think it is silk.
And
but I'll look it up,
beautiful.
but it's so beautiful. And I love the depth of this red. And wow, red really is a theme here, and it's so soft.
It looks very similar to the top that you're wearing, actually.
Yeah, similar color, but definitely
very
different fiber. But this is so beautiful. It's like, this is the kind of mohair that is definitely fine to wear on your skin directly on your skin versus that 80s mohair. So I'm not sure what this will become yet, but I feel like it's got to be something that is either like a cowl or a hat because it's so soft and just really nice. And then
gorgeous color.
This is fun. This is tube, and this is like kind of like chain, and it's tube and it's hollow. And I think I was like, what are we gonna make with this, Mom? And you suggested scrubbies, and I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna enjoy.
Yeah, I could do with one of these
Making
as a scrubby.
scrubbies.
So this is cool too. It feels really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice bright green. So thank you.
Thank you. And
really
then
nice treat.
These are the awesome pens that I've already played around with a little bit. And they are in some traditional Japanese colors like blue for indigo, black, which is sumi, the most common, yellow, the earth color in Japan, purple, which the botan flower, which is the peony in English, and then orange, the orange that is used to paint the torii gates at Shinto shrines. So these, I've played with them a little bit. They are like writing with paintbrushes. They are just very delicate brush pens. You can see the thick nib there, and I'll just do a little it's just like a paintbrush, and
that must be fun to use.
Yeah, and you can do really fine lines if you depending on how you're holding it, but you can be really precise with a very thin line too. So I had some fun. This is actually what I wrote the Vattenlilja sign in with this pen. So beautiful, and they're nice rich colors too, which is fun to play with. So I thank you so much. I'm enjoying these, and I have never seen these before, so that was really cool too.
Beautiful. They look like beautiful pens.
Yeah, really nice. And some treats too, some chocolate and tea, which is I'm excited about too. And then I think there's just one other thing to show. So you had seen a sale of this Shibui Knits Echo, and this is 52% silk, 48% fine merino, and you can kind of tell it's kind of plied together, those two, the silk and the merino. And this is the colorway Bone. So you got me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skeins. And I think this is DK, right?
Yeah.
And actually this is made in Japan too, coincidentally. That I think I'm gonna make one of the sweaters from the most recent pom-pom. I forget what it's called, but I'll put it down here. That is a DK sweater. That kind of has a lace star type pattern at the top. So I think that's what this is going to become, but I'm going to finish this or get this going and then figure out casting this on. Hopefully I'll make some more progress on this before too. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's a nice.
And this will be a nice neutral color.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be a good sort of autumn or spring type of sweater.
Yeah, then I can wear like a fun
merino silk,
fun
bright
scarf
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. So I think that's it, isn't it, Natasha?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still working on my socks.
Yeah, I don't think we have any other major announcements. Thanks for your patience while we had a little break. We'll try and do another one in July. And hopefully everyone is having a good summer so far. It always comes quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So hopefully you're able to see some more folks this year than you were able to last year, and hopefully you're having better 4th of July weather than we are. But you know what? It's also nice to just kind of be cozy, right?
Yes, it is. And
knit. So
yeah. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for following, and thank you for all your comments. It brings us a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take care. Enjoy your hobbies. Bye. Until next time.
Bye.